you guys, and welcome back to Progressive Sisters Magic. And today we're going to be doing part 2 to lesson 3. If you haven't watched part 1, go ahead and click off of this video and watch part 1 so that you fully understand everything that I'll be talking about in this video, as it is a continuation of the last video. So today we're going to be talking about crypto wallets and how to buy cryptocurrencies with these different type of wallets. Okay, so we're actually going to go into the specifics, what apps to use, what beginner mistakes that you need to avoid, okay, and what things you need to make sure that you do to ensure that your crypto is safe. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump into what centralized exchanges are. Centralized exchanges are websites or apps where you can buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrencies with traditional money. Examples include Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, and CEX. On these platforms, you can create an account, verify your identity, and deposit money. The exchange holds your crypto in their wallets. Pros: they're user-friendly, have high liquidity, which is easy to buy and sell, and offer customer support. Cons: they control your coins. They require identity verification, and they can be hacked or shut down. Example: using Binance is like using a stock brokerage, like Robinhood. You can easily buy and sell assets, but the broker exchange is in control or custody. And you guys, doesn't this sound a lot like having a bank and a bank account? And that's essentially because that's what it is. It follows the same systems essentially. Literally, it's just digital currencies versus fiat currencies. That's probably the biggest difference between the two. So cryptocurrencies, yes, they are decentralized. When you have them on a centralized network, on a centralized exchange, it takes away a lot of the factors on that decentralized aspect of cryptocurrencies. So while these central exchanges do have a lot of say-so over your access to your cryptocurrencies, it's like a give and take in this situation, because on one side they have a lot of say-so on what you can do, but then on the other side you have a lot more protection. Okay, so if you lock yourself out of your account, if you lose your password, if something goes wrong with your account, if there's glitches or just like anything that needs to be investigated, this central exchange will help you on your behalf, much like when you file a claim, through the fraud department with your bank, how they kind of take over and they help you with that process. That's exactly what these central exchanges will do. Now, I don't want to get it confused, okay? If you get rug pulled or scammed or something like that, these central exchanges are not here to help. They're not here for that, okay? They're just here to help you with access and things to your account and anything that goes wrong on that behalf of the platform, okay? But you have to remember, rug pulling is essentially investing into something and then they pull out of the project, they drop the project, and it crashes the price all the way down, and all the money that you put in is basically gone, okay? That literally is because of you. You had to do your research and you chose to invest. You chose to invest inside of that cryptocurrency coin, and then they rug pulled it. That has nothing to do with the exchange, okay? I just want to get that understood. So to make it super easy to remember with these centralized exchanges and what it means, just remember that there's always someone at the center, okay? Someone or something, some type of entity at the center that controls everything, okay? So it's not just like free range and just kind of do what you want to do. No, there's something at the center that has basically full control over everything. Now that we have a good understanding of what a centralized exchange is, we're going to move on to decentralized exchange. Decentralized exchanges let you trade directly from your personal wallet without any middleman. Examples are Uniswap and PancakeSwap. Instead of creating an account, you simply connect your wallet and start swapping tokens. Your funds never leave your control. Pros: you keep full ownership, no one can freeze your funds, and you can access thousands of tokens not available on centralized platforms. Cons: they are more complex to use, there's no customer support, and it's easier to fall into scams if you're not careful. Example: a DEX is like a street market. You bring your own cash, your wallet, and trade directly with sellers. There's no central shopkeeper or bank managing the process, which means more freedom but also more responsibility. So like I stated, one of the most popular decentralized exchanges is going to be Uniswap, and that's essentially where you can swap out currencies for one another. You can either swap with people or from a liquidity pool or from the actual platform itself, but you don't have any middleman controlling the transactions or having anything to do with your transactions of swapping cryptocurrencies. So me personally, when I think about cryptocurrencies, I think about decentralization in every single aspect. Not only just decentralization as fact as like how the coin operates and things, but I also think about decentralization as far as the exchanges in your wallets and how you can secure it and things like that. Because I think that makes up the entire crypto experience as a whole. Okay, so if you have cryptocurrencies that are decentralized, but you're keeping them on a centralized like exchange, that kind of takes away from the whole decentralized and you have all the power type of aspect of cryptocurrency. So that is the way that I prefer it. I prefer everything to be decentralized and for me to have all of the control. Now, that is a personal opinion, and that is coming from someone who has been involved in crypto for years, okay? But for beginners, I don't necessarily think that is the right route to go. I mean, I can't tell you what's right or wrong, but there are a lot more risk associated with having all of your stuff on a decentralized exchange. Because again, as a beginner, you know, maybe you're not very familiar with seed phrases in your wallet and how to keep up with everything. And then, you know, rug pulls. You know, when you first get involved inside of cryptocurrencies, I don't know if this happens to everyone, but it definitely happens to every trader that I know trading cryptocurrencies. When you first get into cryptocurrencies, you see like this project, this cryptocurrency coin that you believe so dearly in, okay? And it's usually a meme coin, but you see like it has like a lot of potential to have a lot of utility and things like that, good market cap. You believe in it so much and you put a lot of money in it. It happens to the best of us, okay, you guys? And I'm not saying that every time that happens, you're gonna get rug pulled, but the probability of that happening, of you getting rug pulled, it's not abnormal. So when you have these decentralized exchanges, you have a lot more coins that are not going to be offered on these centralized exchanges. So when I mean that, it's a lot more meme coins, a lot more coins that people are creating and have their own utility and everything that they're doing with it, okay, that are not listed on centralized exchanges, okay? So a centralized exchange is not going to save you from a rug pull, okay? It's not going to save you, but they're also not going to include a lot of the coins that have a high probability of rug pulling you in the first place on their platform, because you have to think that is a bad look for them, okay? It's like, no. And then it's mandatory on every single exchange, on every single like crypto website and things like that. They literally have it somewhere on the website saying that crypto is like a risk, a very high risk, because the market is very volatile and risky, and to invest at your own cost, okay? No matter what platform you're using, if it's centralized or decentralized. So they do make it clear that crypto is a risky and volatile type of market, but they're not going to necessarily control where you put your money. They're just going to warn you. So if you get locked out of your decentralized exchange account, the probability of you getting back in there are slim to none. There's nobody who's going to come and help you, okay? And even I will say from my personal experience, with crypto.com, that is a centralized exchange. With crypto.com, you guys, it is almost impossible to reach their customer service like system because it's all AI bots. And they are a centralized exchange. Crypto.com is a centralized exchange, and it's already hard enough trying to get to their customer support. Take it from someone who's done it, okay? So just imagine trying to get through to a decentralized exchange if getting through the centralized exchange is already hard enough. Slim to none. So essentially I said all of that to say that I believe that centralized exchanges are a lot more beginner friendly, okay? Because it offers you a lot more cushion for anything to go wrong. Decentralized exchanges, I recommend that for more people who are heavily into trading in cryptocurrencies and have been doing that for a while now. Okay, that's a great option, okay? But at the same time, you don't have any cushion. There's no cushion. There's nothing for you to fall back on if something goes wrong. You have a lot less protection. So also, you guys, don't do these offshore decentralized crypto exchanges or these offshore brokerages and things like that, because the rules are completely different for them. Okay, they follow completely different rules, and you don't want to have your money somewhere as risky as something that doesn't even abide by the same rules as the regular exchanges. I just want to go ahead and add that on here. So now let's get into the exciting part, which is how to actually buy cryptocurrencies. I know you guys been waiting on how to actually buy it and have some money inside of your crypto wallet. There are two main methods beginners can use using centralized exchanges. Create an account on Binance, Coinbase, or another exchange. Verify your identity with KYC by uploading your ID. Deposit money using a bank card, transfer, or peer-to-peer method. Buy crypto directly, like Bitcoin, Solana, or stablecoins like USDT. Method 2, using decentralized exchanges. First, buy a stablecoin like USDT from a decentralized exchange. Send it to your personal non-custodial wallet. Connect your wallet to a DEX and swap for any token that you want. So, class, What are two major differences that you see with buying crypto with centralized exchanges and decentralized exchanges? One, the whole use of ID, of verifying your identity with decentralized exchanges. You don't have to do that with the DEX, okay, with decentralized exchanges. Also, on top of that, you have to have a bank account or a bank card or something to connect your money to with decentralized exchanges. You don't have to do that with decentralized exchanges, okay? And this is why cryptocurrency was created, okay? A whole decentralized system. They just implemented these exchanges that are centralized. But the whole creation of cryptocurrency essentially was to be able to have peer-to-peer settlements and transactions without needing a middleman, without needing a bank account, without needing anything, okay? You can do it completely anonymously. All you have to have is an internet connection. And then also on top of that, you have to have your crypto wallet, okay? Those are the two things that cryptocurrencies originally ran off of, just crypto wallets and internet connection. But now you have all of these centralized exchanges and things like that who are now becoming the middleman in something that was never supposed to have a middleman. So I know that I did say that you would have to buy the stable coin off of a centralized exchange in order to be able to swap it out and have things done with your decentralized exchange wallet. While that is true, there are ways around that to where you don't have to be able to go on a centralized exchange at all to buy these stable coins. And one way that you can do that is through like a ledger, and then you have like MetaMask and things like that to be able to connect those ledgers and swap out those cryptocurrencies for stable coins or vice versa. And you would just connect your ATM and your debit card and things like that. So that is a whole entire different process if you didn't even want to use the centralized exchange at all. So I don't want you guys to feel like you have to use the centralized exchange in order to be able to do something on a decentralized exchange. No, you can go full decentralized. It's going to be a lengthier process, a lot more that goes into it, a lot of different steps and software programs and things that you're going to have to download, a lot of different wallets and stuff. But if that's the route that you want to go, it is most definitely available. So now we're going to get deeper into that, and I'm going to explain exactly what I was talking about. How to buy crypto using wallets, DeFi/decentralized way. If you want full control, you can use wallets like MetaMask, Trust Wallet, or Phantom. Here's how it works. Step 1, download and create a wallet like MetaMask. You'll be given a seed phrase. Write it down securely. It's the only way to recover your funds. Step 2, to buy crypto, first add funds, either purchase directly inside of MetaMask using a card through a third-party service like MoonPay, or transfer crypto from a centralized exchange to your MetaMask public address. Step 3, once you have funds like Ethereum and MetaMask, you can use a decentralized exchange such as Uniswap or DEX Screener. These are apps that let you trade tokens directly from your wallet without intermediaries. Step 4, connect your MetaMask wallet to the DEX, choose the coin you want, and confirm the trade. So there you have it. There is the step-by-step process of being able to do it the completely decentralized way without having nobody in between, okay? No centralized exchanges ever in your business, ever in your beeswax, okay? No, you don't have to be involved. Now, it's easier when they are involved, which is why that's better for beginners. Now, the amazing thing about cryptocurrencies is you have freedom of choice. You get to decide which way you want to set up your crypto wallet, which way you want to buy your crypto coins, store your crypto coins, send your crypto coins. You have full dominion over that, okay? Now, if you choose to do something like a centralized exchange, you kind of lose a little bit of that dominion, but that was a choice that you made. So at the end of the day, you kind of do still have full dominion over your money. And that's the amazing thing about cryptocurrencies, because when it comes to fiat money, you don't have no dominion. You're going to open a bank account, and that's how you're going to keep your money. That's where you're going to keep your money, and the bank is going to be in charge of what goes on with your account and things like that. You don't have say so, okay? There's no option to have a decentralized framework for your fiat money, okay? Now, there are some loopholes if you wanted to do that by implementing cryptocurrency, but as far as just having fiat money and just like not having anything, unless you're using complete cash, like all you do is cash transactions, then that won't work. But that will never work in a world like we live in today, because a lot of your bills and stuff like that, like your energy bill and stuff like that, you can't just like go and pay it in person. You have to pay it online, or you have to pay it over the phone, which will require a card, and that card has to be connected to a bank account. So they make it completely impossible for you to have full dominion and choice over bank accounts. But You do have freedom and choice over your cryptocurrencies. Now, speaking of beginners, let's talk about a lot of the mistakes that beginners make. Now, these mistakes are costly, very costly. It can cost you your entire portfolio. And when I say portfolio, anything that you invested into on your exchange or any coins that you have possession of, it can cost you every single penny. Many beginners lose money because of simple security mistakes. Here are the ones you must avoid. Phishing scams. Hackers create fake websites that look like real exchanges. Always check the URL before logging in. Fake support agents. No official support team will ever ask for your seed phrase or private key. If someone does, it's a scam. Run away. Saving seed phrases on devices. Never keep screenshots of your recovery phase. Hackers can access your files. Clicking random links. Many scams spread through fake airdrops or Telegram groups. Don't connect your wallet to unknown websites. Real life story. In 2022, millions of people lost their funds when the FTX exchange collapsed. Even though they had money in their accounts, withdrawals were frozen. This is why keeping your crypto only on exchanges is very, very risky. Okay, you guys, so this was one of the biggest crypto crashes in all of crypto history, okay? So back in 2022, FX was considered a top 3 crypto exchange, one of the top 3 in the entire world, okay? So that means a lot of people are keeping their cryptocurrencies on this top 3 crypto exchange. Now, there was a lot of illegal activity going on, which caused the company to go bankrupt, okay? And it essentially collapsed the entire exchange, the entire platform. Your coins were not safe on that exchange. Millions of people lost millions of dollars from that collapse. But in 2024, the courts did decide to go ahead and pay back 118% of the assets lost to about 98% of the people who had their crypto on that exchange. So granted, a lot of the people did get their cryptocurrencies back, but could you imagine having every single crypto coin on your account, on your centralized exchange, and then gone? You can't withdraw, you can't do anything, and now you hear that these people who are in charge of your money are actually bankrupt and have an over $8 million deficit? Guys, that's insane and that's scary. Now, some may say that this crypto crash was absolutely needed because after this, there was a lot of regulatory pressure placed on the crypto markets. So there became more regulations, more rules and things like that for these centralized exchanges to prevent something like that ever happening again. Now, in 2025, we just had the biggest crypto collapse in history, okay? Biggest in history, but that wasn't because of a centralized exchange. That was just because of the crypto coins, a lot of different things happening with it, okay? So don't get me wrong, the crypto market can still collapse at any given time, but they made it harder for it to collapse because of a centralized exchange, that being the main reason of the collapse, okay? Because you have to remember, cryptocurrencies are super volatile, okay? Bitcoin, a couple of months ago, was like 125,000. Then within like 4 weeks, it dropped to 60,000. That's a lot of money being lost. That's a lot of money being lost, which is why they warn you. It's mandatory for them to warn you on any exchange that you're dealing with. Okay, you guys, so that wraps up lesson 3. We went over part 1 and part 2. And so far throughout this entire time of me teaching you guys, we learned what cryptocurrencies are, the different type of cryptocurrencies, how to store them, how to secure them, how to buy them, the different type of exchanges and things like that. And now we're going to move more into the fundamentals and the macro fundamentals of cryptocurrencies. So this is when it gets a little bit more interesting because now you're getting down to the nitty and the gritty, okay? Which you need to understand if you want to trade cryptocurrencies. Some people want to invest in currencies, buy and hold, and some people want to trade. Now, these fundamentals are imperative for both type of lifestyles that you want to live, whether it be investing or trading. But if you're interested in trading cryptocurrencies and making money daily off of cryptocurrencies, you're really going to have to pay attention in lesson 4, okay? And lesson 4 is going to be the next video. So if you understood everything in this video, let's go ahead and hop into the next topic.